Can you play your slap patterns off any part of the beat, or can you only play them off the downbeat? Well, today's challenge from Anthony Wellington is going to show you guys how to slap off any of the 16 subdivisions of the bar, and we're going to get into it right now. Hey guys, Clay here from Clay's Bass Lessons, where each week I help you guys master the bass, find your groove, and put a little music in your life. First up, a big belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all you guys. I hope you had a great end to your 2018 year. I know it's been a little while since the last video I posted for you guys, but that's been because my wife and I and my little daughter, we're all waiting eagerly on the arrival of the newest member of our family, who is due next week. And I've been very busy getting the house organized and ready for a baby again. But that's really exciting and we can't wait for the little fella to arrive. And yes, it is a boy. But I've got a little bit of time off at the moment, so I'm going to try and make sure to get as many videos done as I can, so I've got heaps to keep coming out each week for you guys. So today I'm doing another one of my quick tip challenges, and today's challenge comes from bass player Anthony Wellington. I found this one on the Victor Wooden DVD Groove Workshop, and if you haven't seen that, I highly suggest checking it out. It's an amazing bass resource with over 5 hours of bass lessons and tutorials. And recently I've decided that I've watched so many of these kind of bass tutorial DVDs over the years, and I have so many different exercises I've collected up of my favorites that I teach to my own students that I thought I'd go through and share all of my favorite ones with you guys. Starting with this one from Anthony Wellington. So let's get into it. Today's exercise is all about teaching you the ability to be able to play your slap patterns off any subdivision in the bar and not just off of the downbeat. And you may not even realize it's something that you do. I know for myself that it wasn't something that I was conscious of until I tried this exercise and realized just how difficult I found some of the other subdivisions, especially the E's and R's of the bar. So this is going to help us really get the hang of being able to play anywhere. But first of all, we've got to make sure we have the same understanding of how we count out a bar of semiquavers. So if you've never been taught this before, the standard worldwide counting system that most people use is 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Now there are a few different levels and stages to this challenge, so make sure to stick with me and see if you can do all of them, as we need to kind of start at the start and build up this basic foundation of the subdivisions first before we get into the really fun, harder part of it. So first of all, what we're going to have to do is play an A octave with finger 1 on the low A on the 5th fret of the E string, and the 4th finger on the high A on the 7th fret of the D string. And I want you to play a pattern of slap, slap, pop, 2 low A's, 1 high. And that's 3 semiquavers in a row. So slap, slap, pop. Okay, now let's see if we can play that on loop on beat 1 of the bar, just a nice easy starting point. 3 bar. Nice. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. But here comes our first main challenge in this exercise. What we're going to do is play that pattern in every bar shifted across by 1 semiquaver. So the first bar we play on beat 1, and then the second bar we're going to play on the start, the same slap pattern, slap, slap, pop, on the E of that bar. And then the next bar will be on the and the next bar will be on the and you keep going until you've played 16 bars through, and you're back to beat 1. So the biggest thing here is, can you do all 16 without messing any up? Let's give it a go. We'll put the drum beat on and we'll try and see if we can do that in just 16 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The E of 1. The and of 1. The The 2. The E. The and. The The 3. The E of 3. And. The the 4, E, the and, the back on the 1. Okay, nice one. So that's the first part of the challenge, and the first time I did it, I realized just how little I had consciously thought about and tried to make myself play off of the E's and the R's of the bar before. Definitely done it off of the downbeat and the offbeat, not those E's and R's, and that's where the coolest, funkiest rhythms live. So that was definitely an eye-opener for me, and when I was able to master that more, it improved all of my playing and my reading as well. So it's definitely a great exercise to do on repeat and regularly. Now, the next stage of this exercise is to do the same thing, but this time, what we're going to do is we're going to move back a semiquaver every time. So we'll play on beat 1 the first time, and at the end of that first bar, we'll then start on the of beat 4, and then work our way backwards. So we'll go and, then E, then 4, then then and so on to all the way back to beat 1, just like we did before. 16 bars, hopefully we can do it all in one 16, 17 bar run through. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now that you've done that, the next stage of this is to move on to actually putting this into context of a proper slap bass line. So the bass line that we're going to play is the same slap, slap, pop pattern on the A on beat 1. Then we're going to move to C on beat 2. Then to D on beat 3. That's the 5th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, A string. And then E on the 7th fret on the beat 4. So we got A, C, C, D, and E. A, C, D, E. Awesome. So we're going to do all of those on the downbeat first. So that's pretty straightforward, just like I did there. And then we're going to shift them onto all the other parts of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Downbeats. Okay, so that's what it sounds like when we put it all on the downbeat, which sounds pretty cool at first, but you can tell if you keep repeating that over and over, it'll get a bit boring because there's not really any interesting rhythms coming at you other than just a downbeat note. So what we're going to do is now try and play that on different parts of the beat, shift the entire pattern across. So the first one, let's start with the of beat 1. We're going to shift it all and start 3 semiquavers later on the of beat 1. And then everything else on the of its own beat. Let's give that one a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. It sounds completely different to the one before. This time, let's try and do that on the and of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2. Nice, totally different again. This time, let's try and play it on the E of every beat. This one's pretty nasty, especially to keep it going over and over, but it's a really good exercise. So, on the E's, starting on the E of beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, that one is definitely the most trickiest. Okay, so now the next thing with that is what would happen if we were to choose different combinations of those patterns. How much more interesting compared to the first bass line would it sound? So let's try this one and see what it sounds like. We're going to play on the E of beat 1, the downbeat of beat 2, the and of beat 3, and the E of beat 4. Okay, so let's see what that sounds like, put it all together and see how much cooler it sounds than just playing on the downbeat at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. see how much funkier that sounds compared to just playing everything on the downbeat like we did at the start. And that's one of the best tricks of the best bass players in the world, of how their funk bass lines sound so much funkier than ours, is they are displacing their rhythms all over the place. In fact, the guys that use this the most, like Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller, you hear it in their playing all the time. If you have a listen to Detroit by Marcus Miller, you hear it's full of these 3-note slap patterns starting on the E's in particular in that song. And it's a really good one to take a look at if you want to practice getting this and using it more in context of a real song. But that's all for today, guys. So if you enjoyed this lesson, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to become part of the Bass Squad. And if you want to have a go at Marcus Miller's song Detroit, click over here to see my lesson on how to play that one. Otherwise, click here to see what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Until next time, guys, keep it funky and go play, practice, and play some more.